Okay, so I'm trying to film this video about meditation and I've already checked my phone twice, adjusted my seat like 3 times, and now I'm wondering if I remembered to pay a bill, which is exactly the problem that I'm trying to talk about. If you have ADHD like me, you probably know this feeling. You find a video that might actually help you, maybe it's about productivity or focus or fixing your sleep, and you can't even make it through the first minute without skipping ahead. You're reading the comments before the video is halfway done, you scrub through trying to find the one useful tip, grab it, and you're gone. And sometimes that tip could really change things for you. But it doesn't stick because your brain is already 3 steps ahead, looking for the next thing. I've been doing this for years, collecting advice that I never actually use because I can't slow down enough to let any of it actually sink in. And I kept thinking that all of these productivity systems or focus techniques would fix it. But I finally realized that none of that stuff works if you can't sit still for longer than 2 minutes. If you have to keep doing this while talking. Genuinely, sit still. Listen to someone talk. Follow a conversation without your mind jumping to 5 different things. Read something without rereading the same paragraph because you weren't actually present the first time. Everything gets easier once you can actually pay attention. You can focus on work. You can be present with people. You can stop doom scrolling and start actually doing things. Your brain isn't constantly racing ahead and leaving you behind. So the thing that actually helps? Meditation. And I know, if you're anything like me, you've already tried meditation and it didn't work. Because how are you supposed to meditate when sitting still feels so uncomfortable? When boredom is genuinely painful? When the thing you need the most is the exact thing that your brain won't let you do? I've been trying to meditate on and off for the last 15 years. I would sit down maybe twice a year trying to meditate, and then I would just end up thinking about food or something, decide that I was terrible at it, and give up for another few months. But I finally figured out a way that actually works for my brain. It's simple and practical, and I want to show you how to do it. So a couple months ago, I filmed myself sitting and doing nothing for an hour. Not meditating, not trying to clear my mind, just sitting. I let myself fidget, move around, think about whatever, and it was really, really awful. I was so bored, I kept picking at my lips until they didn't heal for like 10 days. I couldn't stop moving, playing with my hair, shifting around. Sitting still with an ADHD brain feels uncomfortable in a way that is hard to explain. But something happened at the end of that hour. I actually calmed down visibly. I could feel this shift where my thoughts were still there, still racing, but I could watch them instead of being completely swept up in them. I could notice them and let them pass. And I actually cried because I felt this brief moment of peace that I almost never experience. My mind is chaotic most of the time. It's foggy and exhausting. And for just a little while, it was quiet. And I thought, what if I could turn this into a regular thing? What if I would actually meditate? Because I already knew mindfulness worked. Interstitial journaling, which is basically a form of mindfulness, has been the most helpful thing I've ever used for productivity. You just write the time, write what you're doing, stay present. And so many of you told me that it changed your life too. So if that worked, imagine what actual meditation could do. So here is what I finally understood about why meditation is hard for us. It's because we struggle with transitions. Starting things is hard. Switching tasks is hard. And our minds are already chaotic. So trying to go from complete mental chaos straight into stillness and silence, that gap is too big. It's like asking someone to go from sprinting to sitting completely still in 1 second. Of course, it doesn't work. So I needed a middle step, something that gave my brain a task, but also helped it slow down. Something structured, but calming. And that's where controlled breathing comes in. It's called pranayama. It's basically the practice of controlling your breath to calm your nervous system. Okay, so this is what I actually do. Step 1 is get comfortable. This matters more than you would think, because if you're uncomfortable, your brain fixates on that and you can't focus on anything else. Wear comfortable clothes, make sure you're not too hot or too cold, sit or lie down wherever feels okay, like floor, chair, bed, whatever. You don't need a perfect meditation posture, but you just need to not be constantly shifting around trying to get comfortable. Close your eyes if that feels right, or keep them half open, looking down. Step 2 is the controlled breathing for 2 to 5 minutes. This is the bridge. This is what makes the transition possible. I usually do 4-7-8 breathing. So you breathe in through your nose for 4 seconds, Hold for 7 seconds and breathe out through your mouth for 8 seconds. If that feels like too much, then you can try box breathing instead. So you breathe in for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, exhale for 4, and hold for 4 again. You can count it yourself or use a guided audio. I have an app on my watch that I use, but I'll also link some YouTube videos for you too. Just do this for 2 to 5 minutes. Not longer. And if you feel lightheaded, please stop. Also, some people with certain health conditions aren't supposed to do breath holding exercises, so check that first if you aren't sure. So the reason this works is because that longer exhale activates your parasympathetic nervous system. It's the part of your nervous system that handles rest and recovery. It physically tells your body to calm down. It can help reduce anxiety, help with emotional regulation, and improve focus. For me, it also helps with that constant overstimulation feeling. After a few minutes, your body slows down naturally. Your body relaxes. Your mind is still jumping around, but it's less chaotic. You are calmer. And now meditation feels possible. And step 3 is meditation for 5 to 10 minutes. After the controlled breathing, stop controlling your breath and just let it be natural. You're not trying to have zero thoughts. That's not the point, and it's not realistic, especially with ADHD. The practice is noticing when your mind wanders and gently bringing it back. So you sit there, you focus on your breath, you notice how it feels at the tip of your nose or in your chest, and within seconds, a thought pops up, which is totally normal. That's actually the practice. You notice the thought, you acknowledge it, you let it go, and you bring your attention back to your breath. Then another thought comes, so you bring it back again, over and over. You're training your brain to notice distraction and redirect attention. And for ADHD brains, that's exactly the skill that we need to build. And regular meditation actually helps with ADHD symptoms. It improves attention span, reduces impulsivity, helps with emotional regulation. Some studies even show changes in brain structure with consistent practice. So I usually do this for about 5 minutes, sometimes less if I'm really struggling, sometimes a bit more if it's going well, but I don't force it. If I feel too restless or frustrated, I stop, because forcing it just makes me not want to try again tomorrow. Okay, so meditation is going to feel uncomfortable at first. I will not sugarcoat that. Your brain has been trained for years to need constant stimulation. Sitting without that stimulation goes against everything that it's used to. So yeah, it's hard. You're going to feel restless and bored, and that's normal. But most things that change your life require some discomfort. And I've realized that if I want things to get better, I have to sit with that discomfort. Not for hours, but even just for a few minutes. And it does get easier slowly. I'm not forcing myself to meditate for 30 minutes or anything. I do 2 to 3 minutes of controlled breathing and about 5 minutes of meditation. And it helps. Things actually feel a bit clearer and a bit calmer. By the way, this isn't only relevant if you have ADHD. We're all kind of addicted to the internet now. We've all destroyed our attention spans with short-form content and constant scrolling. Everyone is overstimulated. We never just sit with ourselves anymore. We never let our minds exist without constantly feeding them more input. That's why so many people feel anxious and restless all the time. And meditation helps with that, like sitting and observing, not reacting to every thought that comes up. It's a simple concept, but it's really one of the hardest things to do. So if you want to try this, start small. Do 2 minutes of controlled breathing and 5 minutes of meditation. Some days it will feel good, and some days you will be distracted the whole time. Both are completely fine. The practice is just showing up. I've linked some guided breathing exercises in the description. You can check them out if you want. You just need a few minutes and a comfortable place to sit. And let me know if you try it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.